Woo!
Hey everyone, we are live from Gallifrey with the newest episode of Doctor Who, The Witchfinders.
Yes! Welcome back to a period piece supernatural thriller. That's what
Most
Doctor Who is
accurate
now, right?
description. If you guys have seen it, it is an amazing episode. We are going to talk all things, so if you haven't seen it, spoiler warning.
Oh, be prepared. This
Yes.
is it. My God. So, well, even before we go into this, there was a little bit of news this week, which was pretty much,
sent it to me.
Tom Baker essentially
Our favorite
wrote,
doctor?
essentially wrote a novel, a Doctor Who novel, going on with his adventures as the Doctor throughout. That will be on Big Finish lately, essentially.
Yeah, and they said it was like a idea that they had that never saw fruition on the series.
Yes.
And they are going to dive into it.
Oh, man, and that's genius, because I love the whole thing with Big Finish, because what they do, they bring back the doctors and possible other cast members to go ahead and read their parts or something to make it even bigger and better. That's why, like, my favorite Doctor, which was, of course, number 8, was still able to continue on and have his adventures besides seeing other things, because we saw the film and that was it. I got nothing else for my Doctor. And then Big Finish came through and helped me out with chronicalizing his entire, run as a Doctor from when he became the Doctor until actually when he died. And there's a lot of stuff filled in between. I love it. So I still get it. And that's what we're going to get now with Baker.
And that's super interesting. And we already
huge.
have a little bit about scarecrows.
Oh,
about
yeah.
So I don't know. It doesn't seem that menacing, but at the same time, we've seen the new Batman series with scarecrows. I wonder if it's going to be as horrifying. Because especially in this episode, we just have something as simple as witches. And we were talking about the effects being super amazing good.
Well, not even just the effects. It was the set pieces, the location.
The location
everything.
was amazing.
The actors.
Overcast.
The
lighting.
the overcast, the lighting, the actors, the wardrobe, all of it was good. It felt very authentic. It felt just like, oh my God, Salem Witch Trials happening right now.
Yes.
That's what it felt like. And I loved every bit of it. And I gotta say, bravo. This series so far has not let me down as far as the look and the aesthetic as well as the feel of Doctor Who. It's so true, and it's even better now than it was before.
It really was. And I feel like, everything was really cohesive, but spoilers, Alan Cummings, super amazing as King James. I didn't see it coming, because I never see the previews. I never read about what's going to happen in the next week. And I was totally, completely taken aback by his performance. Incredibly flamboyant and super fun. Added all the levity to kind of a lot of sexist things that he was saying, but I accept it because it's him.
He was eccentric.
He really was.
He was fabulous in a lot of ways. I gotta say that though, that was one interesting thing, because out of all the people you could have chosen to play King James, who do you pick? You pick Alan Cumming, and the reason you chose him was because, well, one, he's an Elizabethan trained actor.
Yes.
Broadway, stage, stage, screen, blah blah blah. He's done it all. So why wouldn't you bring someone to have bring that level of gravitas to a character, but yet do it in a way where it was okay, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
It was. I mean. It's kind of they deal with heavy topics, and hey, Donnie Pearson, it's worth the wait. Thanks so much. I'm glad you are here.
Thank you. We definitely appreciate it. Hello again, Donnie. But I will say, one thing I noticed while we were watching the episode is that the way they treat the queens in Doctor Who, it's so much better as how they present them to the fans versus the way they finally show a king. The queen was in every way regal, demure, those reverence,
or kind of just
Here comes the king as adult, essentially, adult that's just a fanatic, and I believe that I am Satan's #1 enemy, and blah blah yada yada, and I'm an idiot, and also not chasing skirts, but chasing those trousers.
Well,
he was definitely ready
Nubian prince.
Yeah, I love the fact that he said it. I was like, oh my God.
This Nubian prince?
I was like, who's been watching any Eddie Murphy stuff lately? Because he was like, hello, my Nubian prince. And I was like,
and
after
hello,
that,
Ford Jr., welcome back.
Hey, what's going on?
Glad you could join us this week.
I love it. And then he kept chasing him, kept going for it.
From beginning to end. I thought, oh man, it was.
Oh my God.
And I like how Ryan is, takes it with grace, and it's just like, oh, me, like, oh, I'm just a regular guy. I work with papers, and at the end, it's like, these are my friends. I still have work to do. But,
right?
I mean, even Ryan has to feel a little flattered, right?
I would think so.
I mean, because he wasn't super aggressive with it. He was just kind of, like, sending signals, so it wasn't creep.
It's a king that is definitely so much into me that he's like, come walk with me through the woods as I find someone. Maybe you can come to England and protect me. And I was like, whoa, dude, you are so thirsty. Like, yeah, he was very forward. He was thirsty.
I mean, he never commanded it. He was never, he always asked, which I thought was polite considering he's kind of a jerk to our doctor. But... Dude,
horribly sexist, but yet was like, I'm sorry, Nubian prince. I'll protect you.
Put him, and I think as an actor, he can have that line of saying these things, but still be incredibly likable.
Yes.
For some reason.
Yes,
and he
still.
calling the doctor last and very like condescending terms, but you kind of accept it because you like him, and you know the doctor is also kind of like has her own banter with it.
So how did that make you feel, being that seeing the dichotomy and how he treats men versus women, how he treated everyone else versus the doctor in a way where it was just kind of, okay, dismissive, you're not, you don't count, etc., etc. You can't be general, like,
you're a woman, it must be Graham.
How did that make you feel when you watched it? Like, I mean, real initial just feeling. How did you feel?
I mean, we kind of talked about it where it's like we already knew this was going to happen, and we were wondering how the doctor would deal with this. So for me, I kind of expected it, but not in such a way where I would still kind of like him. Because the way that he views it is like, these are very old times. They had a very like certain way of thinking of they're lower, but also his mission, he was wholeheartedly saying, I'm going to wipe Satan off the earth in any way, shape, or form, and I think you're a witch, which is also why I don't like you. So, I mean, he could have been a lot more aggressive, a lot more condescending, and a lot worse as a human being, but because it kind of, I don't know, the writers of the show have a great way of balancing their characters or making everyone at least a little sympathetic. And we find out, like, hey, why are you so guarded and why are you so shut off? And it's like, well, like, my mom murdered my dad, and then my mom got sent to jail and got beheaded. So, and then since then, everyone's been trying to kill me, so I'm a little on edge. Okay. I apologize.
History lesson, just in case you guys didn't know. So, King James, he is the nephew of Queen Elizabeth.
Who they were supposed to see originally. They were trying to see Queen Elizabeth's coronation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's funny that it goes almost full circle.
Like now, in the family kind of.
Now, I'm going to see if I have the history right, and we're going to see if I did it, if I remembered it. So, his aunt pretty much goes to war with his mother, kills his, did she kill his mother, or?
In prison, yeah, like.
Oh, okay. That's right. They had the war. She loses. Apparently, she has to go to jail. But even though his mother did go to jail, his mother did also kill his father. Yeah. Before any of that happened, his mother killed his father. Then later they have the war. His aunt imprisons his mother, and then later ends up ordering to have her decapitated. And then after his aunt is the queen for a bit, she dies. Boom, he becomes king.
Takes over. And if any of that is wrong, please correct us.
That's
what the internet is for. And I want to say shout out to Ryan Earl Wizard Thomas, who actually doesn't have Wizard in your name anymore. I'm sorry.
No, it's just Ryan Earl Thomas. Oh, look at you getting very adult. I like it. Carry on.
A little less magical.
No, hey,
but it's good.
Still,
I like that.
I love it. Yeah, it still gets something there going for me.
I'm so used to your other handling.
It's all right. It's all right. We still love you, just like King James loves his men, just like his coffee.
But also being passionate, that's why we have the King James Bible too. He is the one that commissioned the writing of the Bible, which is why that's kind of what we have. And you cannot suffer a witch to live, which is kind of like this whole thing of why he's going on this witch hunt.
That was interesting. I gotta say that, and I did love that. One thing that was very good to me, and I just couldn't get over it, and I wanted to see it twice, 3 times, 4 times over, was the interaction between King James and the Doctor. That conversation they were having, that back and forth, that volley was so important because it was deep into both of them. Where he asked her a question, so I'm hiding behind the title of king, just like you're hiding behind the title of Doctor.
And
she stops. She stopped because it was like, damn, he got me.
And it's true. Like, because she's, even before this has different iterations of Doctor, has been running from the past and what, they did to like get to this point,
Yes.
which I thought was super interesting.
And the thing is, his whole idea, and you get his idea of why he thinks he's right when he says to her, "Evil be to him as evil thinks." That's that's under his coat. Essentially, it's almost like a tattoo. But it's like that's something you always hear about him, because that's what he was always trying to do, trying to be good. Even though I was to do good, evil was always present, etc., etc. And that's the whole thing he's battling with.
And it's like the Doctor too, who never wants to harm, never wants to kill anyone. And at the beginning of this episode, actually, he was like, "We cannot interfere," always iterating.
Oh,
and then
God.
Immediately when she sees someone in danger, has to come and,
jump in.
interfere.
Automatically stops her own rules, which she did say, like, okay.
For the good, because
Don't mess with the fundamental fabric of time, she says, no matter how wrong. My question immediately was, why wasn't that said during the Civil Rights Movement? But I get it.
They did it in, like, maybe not those words, but when Yaz is like, "Can we do this?" She's like, you have to let it happen.
And that's why
Certain things have to happen,
thought she'd say it and then do, where it's like, dude, look,
she's been
you have to
kind of
understand
building
that.
up to certain.
I think that's why.
And a lot of these themes are reiterated not only in the episodes, but with each of the characters, because we see with Becca Savage, who is kind of the governor of this town,
something like that.
The landowner of this town. Thank you. And even her, she wants to do good, and she honestly believes that, on these witch hunts, that she is trying to root out the evil that is poisoning the town, but also her physically.
Yeah, dude, and that was good. That was such a turn, because we're trying to figure out at this point, like, who is our big bad? Who is our monster? We're trying to figure it out. First, we think it's King James. No, it's not him. He shows off, takes off his mask.
And then, obviously, we think it's Becca Savage, who is on the witch hunt, who is killing her own family, who is trying to help her, that we find out that, Willa's grandmother has been trying to aid her, and because she found out that Becca was, like, poisoned with some kind of alien creature, had to kill her, which is horrible. She's a horrible person, but also her intent and her way of thinking. People aren't all good or all bad. They're complex.
Exactly,
beings.
which is what reality is, and that's the thing I like about that when it comes to the characters that we see and the characters that were presented on this episode. They were multifaceted. They weren't just two-dimensional creatures or beings. They had so much depth to them, and it was like, dang, that kind of hurts being old Mother Winston, and you're like, well, I can't cut off your leg. I just can't do this.
Like, you're my family.
I've killed family that was completely consumed by this thing. You are not. Like, for Madam, whatever her name is, it was like, you're not. You're not overcome by this. It's on your leg and it's spreading. I can't cut your leg. And then Madam, Becca Savage turns around and says she would have done it, but she was too weak. And I'm like, too weak? Dude, she's killed other people that she knew weren't there. She can't go ahead and just chop off your leg. You were actually here. I won't do harm to a person.
And then Becca Savage turns around and drowns her, even though we find out that she's the one that released this beast by cutting down this one lone tree that was keeping the Morax, like our kind of main antagonist, mud tentacle monster.
Pendle Hill was a prison. It was a prison.
And man, can we just talk about the way that this creature is designed when it takes over the humans? Like, it is horrifying. It is one of the scariest things, and they're standing in the woods.
Dude.
And it's kind of like almost like Children of the Corn coming out, and it's like, we're here. Like,
okay, honestly, their vision with them before we get strange savage who turns into one. Before that, we got
she's
just
more
them.
Tree-like,
she
almost
is.
with bark. But the other ones
like were so scary. Like, it looked really good. It startled me. Supernatural thriller. It was. Out of all the monsters I've ever had the experience of, or the honor of seeing in Doctor Who, this finally was the scariest one. One that I was like, yo, if I actually did see in person, I would jump back a little. Like, I see this at a con, trust me, I'm like, I'm leaning away. Yeah. Versus the angels, versus the silence. Really,
the silence.
This is it.
And for those of you in the chat, who is probably the most physically scary monster on Doctor Who, do you think?
Yeah, if you guys have any in your history,
because these are super scary. Like, I still am terrified of the Weeping Angels, because the moment you turn away, their whole concept to me is horrifying.
Oh yeah.
The silence too is scary, but I mean, it's between these particular Morax taking over the humans,
Yes.
and the Weeping Angels. Like those by far.
Good ones.
They both
I
had
like
those
it.
gray kind of empty hollow eyes that kind of just creep up out of nowhere. But the thing is, like, these people, like, the Morax isn't here to kill anyone else. They're after Becca Savage and trying to collect, everything that they are.
Probably replace a lot.
They're going to replace a lot of
some
people, but
to
I mean,
live.
like, initially, no one else had to worry. They're trying to go after Becca first, and then she transforms. And,
Exactly.
they're going to fill you with love. Maybe.
Right? That's what I was like, no.
Four Junior's actually asking if King James was gay or bisexual. We actually looked it up
Funny enough,
online.
we looked that up. Actually, there's rumors concerning gay tendencies, but
he had three men in his life
that he kept very close to him.
to.
And he showed affection in a strange way for 2 out of the 3, much more than he even did his own wife. And that was a big thing, because at some moments he was almost estranged from his wife, but yet was still so close to these 3 men. And a lot of people speculate that, okay, it was because, he was doing what he was doing with those 3 men and not with his wife.
It's not like hard facts. It's all speculation, and I think the writing of this, and especially Alan Cummings, like obviously exaggerated it to.
Come on.
I mean, we don't know what actually happened. Maybe that's how he actually did act. But,
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But Alan Cummings,
flamboyant.
at some moments, he was just wow. He was so spectacular, and I was just like, okay, all right, I get it.
Oh, Ryan Earl Thomas, I see myself as a wizard anytime. It's true. I do too. I can't get that. Like, you're always going to be Ryan Earl Wizard Thomas.
Wizard battle! I just love saying that. I'm sorry. Oh, man. But Alan Cummings, I gotta say, they did great casting for everyone they did choose. King James, amazing.
Yes.
It was good for his moment when he had his moment with the Doctor. Great. The moment when Savage was turning, and she was like, well, she's a witch. Look how she's a witch. And she was just clawing for any kind of
like that
piece of just,
desperation.
yes, I'm not going to
it.
die. I need to point that out, and someone else is wrong, not me. Can we please look at anyone else but me? And it was like,
she's like crying the mud tears. I was like, it's horrifying, but also sympathetic at the same point. Where it's like she's at a loss.
So powerful, so good. I loved it. I loved
just that like trying to like rub away, and then her face getting progressively darker as it's coming out through her eyes.
God, yes,
it's a horrifying visual. Like anything coming out of the eyes, like blood coming out of the eyes, like even like I don't know,
black sewage like that.
Yeah,
automatically I'm like, all right, yep, not messing with you.
Night
You're
nurse.
Good. We're good. Night nurse, we're good.
But
and it's like I love it.
But even Willa's grandmother's still like very stoic on the thing. Like you felt each of these characters with their own very separate personalities, and even Willa, who has, I don't know, because she kind of betrays the Doctor, saying like, hey. She probably is a witch, and you get that fear from her that she has lived her life scared of Becca Savage, knowing that killed her, her grandmother, and is willing to go after family. You understand why she says the things she does to protect herself, and at the end when she's like, "No, I'm gonna burn the Morax too."
Jeez.
You feel proud of her that she's like, "I'm not scared anymore."
Definitely, but the thing is, still, before you feel that pride, you feel that shame, and it's like. I'm ashamed that she's such a mousy character at first, where it's just I'm easily manipulated and allow anyone else who has a stronger personality to be in charge.
Yeah, to
and
take
it was
advantage
like
of her.
that sucks, but it was good to see her kind of through all of that finally, gird up her loins and say, this is it. I know what's going on, and I'm going to take care of this. And it was like, great, stand up for yourself. And I like that as a message that
I do
she
too.
got.
And that you can change, and that if you are scared at one moment, it doesn't mean you're scared for the rest of your life. And I think they were saying that, about the Doctor hiding and about King James hiding behind this, kind of facade of, being the stronger person. And it's like you can be scared, but you can grow past that and become a better person, make better decisions. And they show that with every single character, like every single time, which
Definitely. Once again, on our death watch, Graham is still alive. Just make sure you guys know that for sure. I mean, it's we're looking forward to something happening, but just not yet.
And Graham had such a great episode in this. Like, our producer actually came up with is Graham Chibnall, and he is the one with all the information who knows things, like, because he was like, oh, I know the history about this. I've never heard about the witch hunts in this area. Oh, look at these berries. I think she went that way. And
like, Graham knew so much, and I gotta say that, like, that's the great thing about Graham. He is, I think that theory about him being Chibnall it does make sense. Just
I like that. We're gonna run with that for
just like, well, the Doctor was essentially Moffat, and it was like remember when people said the whole thing about remember, the doctor lies. And it was like, oh, well, if the doctor lies, remember, Moffat lies. And it was
And
like,
boy,
oh, we
did
ran.
he on a regular
and we ran
occasion.
with that, where it was like, okay, the doctor's analog is literally Moffat. In this case, Chibnall's analog is not going to be the doctor because he doesn't want to shine because he's coming in second place. So that's why he's like, yo, who shines for me? It's going to have to be Graham. I like that.
Kind of
That's
like the
great.
older wizened person who knows quite a lot and can help out and progress the story in areas that it needs to progress, which I think is great.
Graham is so amazing. You know, I got a question for you. All right, if you can just think about it. What shirt would Graham pick out of any of the shirts you can get at T Public? If
That
you have
is-
to think about it, just think about
I
it
don't know.
immediately.
I don't
Like,
know.
all right, I like this shirt, I like that shirt, blah, blah. What can I see on Graham?
Man,
Because it's like, I like those, but honestly, if Graham doesn't pick one, I'm picking the new one. I'm picking the new
man,
shirt.
the
I can see Graham
Marvel-
rocking that shirt, like, without even a question. And that's the thing. You guys can also go ahead and make sure that you grab it and rock that shirt too. You can head over to tpublic.com, or you can head over
Find
to the
shirts.
link in the description below. You can be just as cool as Elle. Or
Yes.
just as smart as Graham, making sure you get a shirt that's going to look good with it. Do we have the visual of that shirt, the new shirt that we put up? Or is that like, ooh, too much? Whoa, there
that's
it
a
is!
Power Rangers mashup.
Come on! This is so cool.
Man, we need to
All
get
the
some Doctor
Rangers are
Who
doing-
shirts on our site.
Well, we need to sit down and design them. We need to put it together.
We were gonna get that
Play
together.
around, put
One
all
of
the
these
doctors
days,
around or something
I don't know
like
how
that.
to
We'll figure it
design,
out.
but I will draw some stick figures.
Yeah, and then
Will
we'll
you
tell
buy that
someone
shirt?
else. Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? You have a shirt already right now.
That is true.
And people are loving your shirts right now.
That's true.
It's kind of naughty.
It is a little bit naughty. Ooh, Ryan is
But-
asking me, would I rather be a witch or a princess? Would you rather be a witch or a Nubian prince?
Oh, shoot. Which?
Right? Like
Power,
if,
man.
If
That's
you can
magic
have
about-
powers, any kind of, and
Man.
I would always want powers. I mean,
Yeah.
like princess is kind of like a different kind of royal power, but depending on what century you're in, they don't really have a lot of power unless
There you
it's
go.
to get married and have babies. So I'd want to be a witch.
That's why, yeah, as a witch, I'm always like, P.S., you're a toad. Boom. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody's gone. Somebody's out of my way. They're done. They're finished. It's gone. Boom. Done. It's like Trump. It's like
Yeah,
Trump. Pretty much. But nonetheless, I have real power if I'm a witch. That's what I'm saying.
And it was kind of weird in this episode, like the mentality of witches, where it's like, hey, if you drown, you weren't a witch. But if you survive, we're gonna hang you. Because witches could survive a lot of things, but not hangings.
Clearly.
What? I don't know. A lot of the logic in this, like they don't harp too much on it, but as I'm watching it, and these things did actually happen. Like they did have these weird trials where it's like, oh, a witch is like has no soul or something, so we'll float on water because you're as light, and it's like, wait, what?
What?
Science?
I don't get
No,
that.
no
yeah,
science
yeah.
back then?
So they're not gonna drown no matter what happens. But
we'll just
what
hang
will
you.
happen? They definitely can break their neck. So we're gonna hang them. It's like that made no sense to me.
It's a small thing, but I like how every time that, you know, witch trials do come up and the ways to like figure out which one is it, you know,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, it's
Which
just
one
so,
is it?
yes, which, pun intended, but
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. But yeah, that is ridiculous back then. It was like, all right, if you drown, then hey, congratulations, we just killed an innocent person. But we didn't. We actually sent them on to heaven because they needed to go. It was their time.
and it is murder, and the doctor does point this out, and it's like, you are not trying to save anyone except for yourself.
You've
and
killed
it is
30
selfish.
some odd people.
Yeah. Hey, we got a super chat from Larry Newville.
Oh,
Thanks so
whoop,
much.
whoop, whoop.
Being snowed in is good and bad at the same time. Watching you peeps drinking hot chocolate with some rum chata works for me. Oh,
Oh
man.
yeah.
We need to
Thank
get
you.
a hot
Okay.
chocolate like competition going. Because
Yeah,
I'm
see?
like buying with cute little marshmallows.
Oh, really?
Like, some whipped cream.
Ooh, Larry, I already hear a battle going on here,
Yes,
man. I need
it's
this to
gonna
continue on THS hashtaggers. I need it to happen there. In fact,
Yes.
I'm calling you out, Larry, right now.
Take a picture of your
yes,
hot chocolate.
I want to I want you to take a picture of your hot chocolate. I want you to post it on THS hashtaggers. Put the hashtag Doctor Who Cocoa Challenge.
Yes.
Doctor Who Cocoa Challenge. That's what I want you to do. And you go ahead and put
And
it
I
up
will
there.
come and retaliate.
Yes. And in fact, if anyone
Maybe
else
next
wants
week.
in on this, get in on it too. Go ahead, take a picture of the cocoa and put it up. We're gonna and give us a breakdown of what the cocoa is. You know, like, oh, I put cocoa, I put whipped cream, I put blah blah, whatever. Give us all that info right there when you put the picture. Put the hashtag on THS hashtaggers
Yes.
and put the hashtag Doctor Who Cocoa Challenge. Do that. Make that a thing. Let's
And
see if it goes.
I will come reply next week.
Next week?
I'm going to set myself a reminder. I will bring hot chocolate.
Oh.
And so we can enjoy it together. I'm so sorry that you're snowed in, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It does suck. But we're
But I'm glad that
we
you're
can,
here.
Yeah, we're glad we can give you some level of entertainment and still make it fun.
Yes.
Make it fun. Because Doctor Who's good. It's a great show. It's great.
It really is.
So, anything else that was like stood out to you on the episode? You're like, hey, I remember I want to talk about that.
Kind of like talking about the companions and Ryan like being the Nubian prince of this one. I really like that Yaz is always the one that kind of goes to like family relations. Like in the last episode, where she has
Dan.
the trinket from like the father that was killed and
Yeah.
was like, I want to go talk to his family.
Yeah.
And in this instance too, where everyone's like, oh, let's find about the witch stuff. She was like, I'm gonna go talk to Willa. Like, you know, her grandmother just died. She's obviously really stressed. Maybe she knows information. And it's kind of like the more human aspect to go and talk to the outside sources.
I never
So
thought
I don't know
about
if they're
that.
going to start building this, but I'm going to look forward to it in like other episodes.
Dang, I never thought about that. She is like the PR for like anything that happens. She's like, all right, let me go ahead and take care of everyone. How are you doing? Are you fine? Or blah, blah. Like, she's a liaison, almost like that. And it's like,
Like
oh,
she
I
has
love
that empathy, and I think because she comes from like a large, kind of very intimate family who's always in her business, and maybe she's like, oh, I don't like them that much, but she does. It's like that.
Well,
You know,
could
your
it
own...
also be that since she is a cop, she's a peace officer?
Oh,
you know,
that's
the
a
thing
good
is, you have
idea.
to know how to deal with people in every type
in
of
stressful
way.
situations to get more information.
Yes, and you have to be
That
able to
is-
calm them down and blah blah. So it's her training coming forward, and it's pushing out in every way. I like that.
And like natural abilities to like be empathetic and to be a cop, which is
Man,
why.
so it
That's
was
cool.
why she is a cop because it's perfect. It lines up for her.
It does.
Oh my god!
I like that. Like Graham is our wizened,
oh yeah,
smart
yeah.
person, our sage, I guess.
Yeah,
And,
then we have our heart. So we have our mind with Graham, we have our heart with her, and then we have our wild card when it comes to Ryan.
yeah, because I mean, he has a coordination problem that doesn't really always show up in like meaningful ways.
I have not seen it shown
yet.
up since the first episode.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean,
Saying.
And it doesn't help progress the story so much, which I'm like
No.
interested to see something happen with him with that.
I'm also interested because I'm tired of them mentioning it and nothing happens.
I think it will. It'll be a big payoff, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
him being with Graham. I think is kind of like it's kind of enough. And he's such a cute boy. I love him. That actor is like adorable.
Yeah, he is.
But-
Yeah, he is. I definitely agree. So
I don't know if you've heard, but so there's a huge rumor on our website. If you go to thathashtag.com
That
and go
hashtag show? Or is it
or
that
thathashtagshow.com
That hashtagshow.com.
and you go to the TV section, there's a huge rumor out there that Chibnall is not happy with Doctor Who production.
In what aspect, though?
Whoa.
This is our
so
producer,
that's-
It's our
Nagami
producer
talking.
Nagami, not God.
So he also
Disembodied voice over here.
It's a TARDIS.
so the big rumor is that he might leave after the next series. After series 12.
But this one is
he
such a
might leave.
phenomenal series.
See, that's the
Oh.
thing. He is unhappy with it. And the funny thing is, what I've noticed, no joke, what I've noticed is that how he feels is how a few other people that I know have watched the show for years do feel also.
Well, no. So this is not a rumor, but a theory put out by another fan website that, again, go to thathashtagshow.com,
Yes,
go
it's
to our
right
TV
up there.
section,
That's right.
whole write-up's there. They feel that Chibnall has been quoted as saying that a series a year is not sustainable, but that's probably what the BBC wants, a series a year.
They need more time to develop stories, or is
Well,
that
it just look how many countries they went to for this show.
that's
Right?
true.
True.
And it's worth it though.
So the big possibility is to keep
is-
Chibnall. We might go to like half series,
Half series. Well, and I
5
think
to
he's
6 episodes.
And I think he's used to that because you think about how long it takes for Broadchurch to put out an episode or a season. How long they started to do the whole thing with Sherlock also before
That
they
is
finally
true.
stopped. And Chibnall worked on that too. And it
That's
seems
true.
like, okay, so Chibnall's used to something where it's like, look, we're going to take our time and make sure we give you the best product versus we're trying to give you the best product in the shortest amount of time. And I think Chibnall is unhappy with that.
You know,
and that
and
makes
he
sense.
has a point, and like as a fan, I'm willing to wait for quality content. I don't want to wait 5 years, but I can wait every other year to make sure that something is going to come out the way that the writer, director, showrunner is happy with.
Here's my thing. we already do wait a year and almost a half, almost
It's
2
true.
years for Doctor Who as it is, and still this is what we get, and we like it, but you're saying it's not good enough. So now the thing is, if it's not good enough, I wonder, what did he have in mind?
Yeah.
And how amazing could it have been if we got to see exactly what he wanted?
Because
If we
it's
got to see the
obviously
director's
going to
vision.
like movie quality stories in an hour, which is super good. And like for those of you in the chat, how long would you be willing to wait in between seasons for the next series to come out?
Yeah, I mean, are you guys willing for, a whole year, which we usually already have, or do you want a year and a half, or do you want to go ahead and wait 2 years?
Or do you want lower quality content according to Chibnall and pump it out every
or
year?
this quality but shorter?
Maybe just smaller amounts.
Yeah, so instead of
like a Sherlock, maybe 3 episodes, and each episode is like an hour and a half.
3 episodes and then one big large one, and that's it. And then
And a Christmas.
and then yeah,
And our
Christmas
Christmas.
special.
I feel
Or
a little
New
less
Year's.
bitter at knowing
New
that. Or
Year's.
New Year's.
I'm
New Year's
sorry.
Day.
We're trying to get used to it. It's hard. It's hard for me too. But New Year's, saying a New Year's episode would be good. I can
It's something
maybe
different.
deal with that.
I mean, I do like that they're switching a lot of things up and,
Yeah.
getting into the monotony of, like, having to play into certain rules. I get not wanting to do that, not wanting to be boxed in by things.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But this is the thing. I'll say this. You have to keep in mind that all fandoms are fickle and fragile. So the thing is, if you take too long to come back to that fandom, what's to say that fandom will be there when you do come back? Yes, we can watch everything on demand, but the thing is, with everything else that's building up in that 2-year span, let's say they haven't found something else that now they're jumping onto and they love just as much, and they're like, oh, I'm going to. Oh, I'm going to.
That
Oh,
is
I'm going
true.
to. And then you put it off. I've done it with shows, but then the thing is, it's like, how many Doctor Who fans are really going to be, how many Whovians are really going to do that?
But when you think about how much time went between the original and
There you go.
Ninth
So,
Doctor,
yeah.
and how many people
There you go.
came.
So I'm like, how many Whovians are really going to be just like
We can
everyone
wait.
else?
Well,
We can wait.
I think the thing is, though, is that the BBC doesn't want to wait.
Exactly.
'Cause they want money.
So I guess
Yeah.
the question becomes, I think, what do you think? Do you think they will give Chibnall a shorter series, or will they let Chibnall, and everyone assumes Jodie Whittaker would go with him, would they let them go and find someone else who would be willing to do what they
Because
want?
there are a ton of people that
Shoot.
would want to work on Doctor Who. There
Well,
are
dude,
ton of people.
imagine getting the names to be able to, and then you're going to be a showrunner? Sign me up, I'm in. They'd go crazy for it, but the thing is, will they care for it? Will they give it as much love
And I
as Chibnall
love
has?
the way that this series has progressed so far, and I would want the team to stay as it is. I think
definitely.
it is an amazing series. Like,
Oh, man.
so I don't know.
That's the thing.
I don't know.
but,
It's hard.
Maybe give Chibnall a little bit more time. I mean, we've seen what he's done. Like I said, once again, Broadchurch. He's shown and he's proven. So the thing is, maybe give him that time. And let's see exactly what we can do. Let him go ahead and put a 2-hour Doctor Who episode out. And then say, here you guys go. I'm going to be gone for 2 years. And
yeah,
then
and-
we'll see if it works out.
Yeah, hopefully. And like, if you want to read more into it, go to that#show.com. You can get more details on that article that's posted and other geek news if you want something else besides Doctor Who.
Heck yeah, we cover everything, man. You guys
Yep.
like Power Rangers, you like Transformers, you like G.I. Joe, you like freaking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like Jazzer, trust me, it's there. We have all the information concerning anything that's trending in geek pop culture. You can find it right there at that#show.com. Now, anything else that was still pulling out to you that you were like, oh my god, I forgot to talk about?
I don't know. I do want to talk about, because you picked up that quote at the very end talking about science and, this whole thing being like Witchfinders and a witch hunt. And, the doctor says something at the end that I thought was super poignant to Doctor Who as a series and to, just things in general.
It definitely is. And it's something that, trust me, if you are nerds or geeks or anything, you've heard it before. You heard them mention it in Thor. You heard them mention it in so many other things. But it's Arthur Clarke. And Arthur Clarke says, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And that makes sense. When you think about it in any other way, there's something that happens and you're like, oh my god, this is so new and this is so amazing. For example, the microwave. If we take the microwave back over there to King James and we go ahead and plug it in somehow, I don't know
You'd be
how.
like, Satan's
boom.
fire heated up my food.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. It just becomes magic. Anything that we see as an advance becomes magic if it's too far advanced from what we're used to. So
Yeah.
anything the Doctor does can be seen as magic. Once again, there goes a wand, but is it a wand? No, it's just for Sonic. You know, there goes their phone booth. Oh, that's the devil's closet, as they used to call it, where it's one of those where you walk in, you can close it, you say some incantation, you're supposed to be teleported somewhere else. It was the devil's closet. And so that's what they would consider the TARDIS. There's all these things that you would say, oh, this is evil, this is magic, but it's just technology.
Yeah.
And it fits so well for the Doctor.
Yeah, and especially like in this time too, where it's like, hey, the whole thing is like, you know, things that you don't know, you don't have to be scared of. You may not understand it, but that doesn't mean it's bad or that it's evil. You know, it's just
exactly
you don't understand it yet.
Yeah,
So.
I see.
And I feel
so
like
weird.
understanding is kind of one of the, we talk about a lot of core themes in Doctor Who, and this is one of
Definitely.
them. And it's super interesting that it comes up, and I like the different iterations of the way the writers are able to bring it into different episodes.
I love it. Like you said, it's understanding, it's acceptance, it's tolerance. Those are the three things I think that we have been floating around for the entire season.
And so, what are the? Well, we have that hashtag show, and it's like the origins of the Doctor.
Oh, as far as going into them or breaking down the origins of the Doctor, or what?
Like the whole thing where you're like the.
I'm scared it's like Boba Fett.
Oh, jeez. If we ever get the story of the origins of the Doctor, like going back from the Doctor before he ever ran to the TARDIS.
We've seen little clips as like a child and like on Gallifrey.
We saw the
and-
child on Listen.
Yeah.
That's
We've get little
yeah.
glimpses, but I feel like the whole, like the mystery of the Doctor is kind of the appeal, where you don't necessarily know everything. The Doctor is full of secrets. The Doctor lies a lot, you know, and I kind of like that aspect where you don't need to know everything.
Well, see, and that's the thing, and I enjoy that, and I feel there are areas where people have gone wrong with filling in the gaps and giving the origin. For example, very popular comic one, since we all deal in the comic world, is Origin, Wolverine. His origin. I felt that people read it now and they're like, does it hold up? Do I like it? There are parts that I wish I could change. And what about this? And here goes the plot hole and blah, blah. Because there's so much mythos. Don't approach an origin for a character that you've created years upon years of mythos for, because you will fail. There will be something that you forgot that someone else wrote because it's something that you didn't write. I always suggest don't do it. Let it be there and let those questions be asked. And just continue on with the fact that there is a mystery. That's what I think is good for when it comes to Doctor Who.
Yep. I mean, I kind of feel like that's why the Mandalorian movie was canceled. We don't need to know certain information, but we are going off. And if you want to tune in to Star Wars Fanatics on Facebook,
definitely.
that will be on at 9?
It'll be
8:30. I'm sorry, that'll be on at 8:30. Star Wars
bad.
Fanatics.
Not bad. Yeah, definitely coming up. And like you said, I like that how you talked about the Mandalorian. That's true.
We don't need
Got
it.
canceled.
We don't need to know about like
We
Boba
don't
Fett.
need it.
I like the mystery of that character.
Seriously,
as it is.
pay attention to the sci-fi fans. They know exactly what they want. They know what they don't want, and they will vocalize it. So pay attention. You guys should be listening for Doctor Who and figuring out exactly what the fans like and what they don't. I mean, Chibnall's already saying how he's unhappy with the show. There are a lot of fans that are feeling unhappy too, just because of the direction it's going in, and they want something a little bit, even far more different than what they've got, but they still want those air of familiarity. That's all they want.
Yeah, it's true. And I don't know. There is kind of like, you're never going to please everyone. There's absolutely no way. I love the way that the series is going. I mean, we kind of talked about it. I love the Doctor. I love the writing. We love the sets. We love like the movie quality kind of theming, the music, the drama. I think it's been super good. So I hope it continues. We only have 2 more episodes.
That's it.
And that's it for this series. And we are.
Well, see,
going
that
to be
pretty
done.
much sounds like we're doing what Chibnall's asking already. It feels like this. How many episodes do we actually have?
10
10
episodes.
3 less than previous series.
Yeah.
3 less than previous
But
series.
10
We
is
got 10
kind of-
episodes.
that's good.
There you go. That should be it. Chibnall, I'll see you in 2 years. Just make the plan happen and bring me something good. Or a year and a half.
Well, for that or 5 a year.
Oh, no. At least
It
give me
depends if
7
you-
a year?
It depends how well you can tell a story, or if the episodes are longer. I wouldn't mind waiting, because I feel like, you know, with the Sherlock series and having the hour and a half kind of movie quality episodes and still lacing together story arcs for that season, I thought it was pretty well done. And, you know, that was Moffat, and if Chibnall worked on it, and it's possible. Like, it is possible to hold a fandom through these really long hiatuses that they go on and give just really quality, shorter number of episodes.
But if we do that, then we are jumping the shark in the way that I say, now we know what we're doing for our audience, and our audience is no longer, we won't ever be able to say, hey, this show is still a show for kids. When we're doing it that way, separating that release in that way and kind of holding back, this show has now been for adults. The show is no longer for kids when we're not just saturating the market with so many episodes. We're giving these short ones about an hour long. We're giving in depth. We're trying to give you character development. We're doing all these things, and we're building an arc all the way through for only 5 episodes. There's no way it can be a kids show anymore.
Well, it's never been like maybe towards kids. It's always been like a family sort of episode. But I don't know. What do you guys think? And if you have any opinions, go ahead and put it on THS hashtaggers on Facebook.com.
That's right.
We're going to kind of wrap up this episode for this week. And we have 2 more. We would love for you guys to join us.
Definitely.
We have 2 more Sundays together.
It's going to be great, though.
We're going to try to fill it with something else. We're going to try to get some retro Doctor Who maybe going. We'll see.
Hey,
if you have any suggestions or what you want to see, please comment and
exactly. We want to know exactly what you guys think and what we want to see for the future of the Whovians here on that hashtag show and expanding even more. So let us know exactly what you guys think we could do, continuing on while we have a little bit of hiatus. Maybe even touching on some big Finnish shows.
Yeah, and that would be great. But, to wrap up this episode, what would you guys in the chat rate this episode, The Witchfinders?
That's right. Let us know out of how many sonic screwdrivers are we going to go all the way.
Let's try not to do 13. I feel like that makes the math a little bit hard, so let's just keep it at 5.
5.
How
Keep
many
them on one hand,
sonic
guys.
screwdrivers out of 5 would you guys give this episode? And what about you?
Me, giving this episode out of 5 sonic screwdrivers, I wasn't completely impressed with the episode, but in no way was I dissatisfied. So this episode gets a 3.5.
Wow, I'm
trying
like
not
this
to. I'm not trying to give too much anymore.
Because I love the design of the witch. I mean, the rest of it we've kind of talked about a lot, but man, the effects on this one were super good, and it is probably one of my favorite monster alien human hybrid villains. So I'm actually gonna give it a 3.5.
Oh, okay. Cause I was ready to go bat with you. If I was like, this is gonna go 5 more minutes, guys, because I was about to hold on. She just said, I was gonna do it, but nope, didn't happen.
Because the main highlights were like the Morax and Alan Cummings as King James, and the story was still very strong, but I don't think it's as good as some of the other ones. You guys aren't rating it in the chat. Come on.
Yeah, come on, let us know what you guys think about it in the chat. We're still sitting here. I'm
but
waiting
if not, you can put your ratings.
for Ryan, I'm waiting for Donnie, I'm waiting for everyone actually. Larry, oh my god. Toku Kid, everyone in the chat, let us know what you guys thought about the episode. What are you rating it out of Sonic Screwdriver? So far, I'm giving it a 3.5. Elle's giving it a 3.5.
For different kind of reasons.
For different reasons, yes, true. And now if I'm thinking about it, I may even go less, but who knows? I'm going to stick with a 3.5 right now and keep it where it is. But what do you guys think?
They want to talk about Christmas. Donnie Pearson is saying, speaking of Christmas, we are a month away from that most wonderful time of the year, and it's true. Hopefully we'll have...
True.
We're going to have some hot cocoa next week. I hope I remember. I'm going to set my little alarm to show Larry Newbill what's up.
Oh, hey, Larry is coming
wow,
through.
with another super chat
I'll
from
make
Larry
a cup
Newbill.
soon. Gotta go shovel snow.
Right.
That man is busy dealing with work. I don't envy you, but thank you for everything you're doing.
But yeah, I guess until next week, we are here from sunny and warm Southern California.
Yeah, hey. Oh, Larry Newbill says 2.5.
Okay, thanks for that last
you.
rating.
Thank
Someone
you. We
rated
appreciate it. Yeah, we're waiting like, why is no one, hey, what's going on with the call to action? No, but if you guys want to give it a rating, go ahead and give it. We're about to sign off soon, so if you need to.
But you still leave your comments.
Exactly,
and
we'll still talk about it.
Hashtaggers on Facebook, and you can always go to the website.
Heck yeah, you can go to that hashtagshow.com, read up on the story concerning what's happening with Doctor Who, how Chibnall feels, what Tom Baker's doing. You'll be able to get that information right there on that hashtag show. There are articles for it. Pretty much something else I'm going to say from now on. Anything concerning anything, there's an article for it.
It's true.
It's like that. It works easier. It's like there's an app for that. But we'll look forward to seeing you guys there. Head on over to that hashtag show to keep up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Oh, look at